South Australia now has the really positive outlook of a resources boom coming into South Australia, which has been around in Australia for a long time. You are exceedingly lucky being endowed with a lot of natural resources. And I think it is critical now that you take a more systemic perspective on this and say, great, we have these fantastic resources. How can we ensure that we appropriate for ourselves the maximum economic benefit of these resources, lasting longer than the resources last? And here I would encourage you dramatically to look at other places, and I will limit myself to talking at countries of a similar developed nature to Australia, where this has been achieved. And I will mention three key areas. One is Norway. Norway had a petroleum boom and was a very thoughtful government who decided to put in quite clear requirements and expectations in their industry participation policies from the late 1960s and onwards. And as a consequence today, what you have is if you go out to any of your offshore platforms or outside Australia or in the petroleum pumping or drilling activity domain, you will find that there are a huge number of services, products and solutions provided by Norwegian firms. These firms did not exist before the Norwegian petroleum boom and were created through a government intervention that ensured an industry participation policy to the benefit of the nation. So when the petroleum boom in Norway now disappears, these firms are still there. They are global, they're international, they contribute employment and benefit to the state of Norway. And we don't even have to talk about the Norwegian Sovereign Wealth Fund that are capturing a lot of this wealth for future generations. The other country which is worth looking at is Canada, where there is a classical case which is Ontario, where the resources boom in Ontario has been converted and supporting a manufacturing boom. Huge effort has gone into building clever clusters around manufacturing and services that are supporting the resources and are being supported by the resources firms. And again, through a very clever and a very thought out industry participation policy. And at the moment, there is another project coming online in Newfoundland called the Hebron project, where again there is a very clear industry participation policy to ensure long-term benefits of this resources project. So I would strongly encourage the South Australian government and also the national government in Australia to be more active and to ensure better capture of value from the resources boom through smart industry participation policies.